What is up, Watch fam? Happy Tuesday, and welcome to this week's episode of In the Metal. I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and today I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek into 3 of this week's 7 new additions into the Theo and Harris watch shop. So let's start here with something I am all too excited to be sharing, a vintage Rolex Datejust, a reference 1603. Now, these second-generation Datejusts are some of my favorite watches. It's their simplicity, their robustness, their quality of construction, and their obvious brand heritage that attracts me. But this particular example is mind-blowing. Not only does it feature a rare, dark gray, almost with a hint of brown dial, but it's a Wideboy. What does that mean? Well, go ahead and notice the abnormally wide set of indices and matching hands. This was certainly not a common Rolex feature, but when it was manufactured, it was special. Let's move on to something even more sporty, a watch signed GHC. But much more important than the brand is the class that this watch falls into. It's a vintage Valjoux chronograph with a panda dial. It is, in so many ways, a brother, or at least a cousin, to all of the famous panda chronographs that defined the 60s and 70s, like Rolex's Daytona or Heuer's Carreras. The watches that now have a tremendously important hand in revitalizing the vintage market. Speaking of incredibly important and wildly undervalued 20th century watches, take a look at this. It's a Polerouter by Universal Geneve. It was designed for the company by a fella named Gerald Genta. Yes, the guy that went on to design Audemars Piguet's Royal Oak and Patek Philippe's Nautilus. It's an icon. Its black bullseye dial, which in this example has patinated to a beautiful chocolate brown, is its largest identifier, but followed very closely by its twisted lugs and microtor movement. I've got to say, and I don't mean to pat myself on the back too much, but we curated one hell of a selection. So head on over to the watch shop at theoandharris.com and enjoy.